Are joined by the newest member of your Browns fourth-round pick, the running back out of Tennessee, Rocky Top, Dylan Sampson. Dylan, first of all, congratulations on becoming a member of the Cleveland Browns and getting drafted into the National Football League. I'm sure this is a very, very special day for you.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. And I'm glad to be a part of the organization.
Well, you know this team wants to run the football. They drafted Quinshon Judkins earlier. They draft you now, coming off a season in which you rushed for 1,491 yards and 22 touchdowns, SEC Offensive Player of the Year. For the fans who maybe didn't get to see you as much in this part of the country, how would you describe your style and what you bring to this football team as a running back?
Yeah, I think I'm just I think I'm a violent runner. You know, I play with a certain type of tenacity, and you can see the passion when I play. But, you know, I stay poised. I believe my vision shows out on tape, my speed, my contact balance. And, you know, I'm also looking to show everybody, you know, how well I can play out in space, whether that's on the perimeter catching the ball and doing other things to, you know, help the offense.
And, Dylan, have you had an opportunity to talk to your running back coach, Deuce Staley? And if so, my man, what did you guys talk about?
Yeah, it was real brief on the phone call, but, you know, he was telling me, you know, he fired up to get here and, you know, it's time to work, you know, short and simple. But, you know, we had an opportunity to, you know, talk at the combine as well, during interviews, and that went well. So it's good to talk to him again.
Hey, Dylan, this is Andrew Siciliano here. Congratulations, man. I know you're from Baton Rouge. I know you probably grew up a Saints fan. Wearing 6, Alvin Kamara. I know you love him. Tell me about that. Is that who you model your game after?
Yes, sir. It was one of the, you know, players I like to watch growing up, model my game after. So, you know, it was special to get that 6 at Tennessee, too.
Yeah, he was. I remember a preseason game when the Saints drafted him in Cleveland. I was on the side. I'm like, man, that guy is special, and we certainly hope that you can have that kind of an impact here for the Cleveland Browns. When you think about coming to a team where, you know, you're going to be able to be fresh, right? They're going to be both of you in this backfield. Jerome Ford's here as well, has been very successful. The idea to be able to stay fresh, the idea to be able to go all out every single run, is that something that's appealing and kind of like a thunder and lightning type of a situation?
Yeah, I really think it's like the blueprint, you know, in the league. If you talk about, you know, the best rushing attacks, you know, I look back at Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, and you look at Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery now. You know, some of the things they're doing, the ability to stay fresh, like especially at our position, there's only so much wear and tear you could take. So you got two guys, you know, coming at you fresh. It's hard to stop.
And Dylan, when I look at your stats, one of the things that stands out is that you have the elusiveness to make guys miss. And at the same time, you'll run a guy over. What's your thought process and how you go about that, my man, when running?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's an area of my game I could always improve, you know. But it's all about time and space, you know, and kind of what I'm feeling. If there's enough space to, you know, kind of set somebody up and make them miss. And if I just got to lower my pads and get the most yards I can out of the run, I'm going to do that. But it's just all about being decisive, you know, and wanting to get the most yards out of each and every single play.
You feel comfortable, Dylan, in wide zone? You feel comfortable pressing that hole one cut and just hitting it?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do all that.
What have you kind of heard about Cleveland? And did you know that this was maybe in the offing that you would be a Cleveland Brown?
Yeah, I knew it kind of was, but I didn't know what it was going to, you know, look like, you know, with them selecting Judkins yesterday. But I knew with how kind of deep this running back class was, it was a possibility that some teams were going to draft, you know, 2 running backs. And, I mean, this is a great situation to be in, you know, having the opportunity to go in there. Both of us, you know, kind of around the same years and age, both being young, you know, opportunity to start fresh and learn and, you know, attack it, you know, strong. It's a blessing.
Hey, Dylan, let's talk about that because, like, we were talking about that exact topic before you joined us on the phone, and that is how deep this class is. You have worked your entire life for this weekend, Dylan Sampson. I'm sure you got family with you this weekend. So what's it like sitting there? Like this is a job interview and you're watching on TV. Like the average guy can't can't relate to what you as an NFL draftee have to go through this weekend. Uncertain, like I'm going to get on a plane. I don't know where I'm going and where my life will take me. Like, what is that like?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different type of feeling, like you said, that not too many people can relate to. You know, it's a blessing and scary at the same time. Because, you know, a lot of things I was hearing was, you know, I was going to be picked on day 2. And so we all got together yesterday and, you know, just not to, you know, have my name get called. It is disappointing, you know, but, you know, I just believe that, you know, the right fit will come, you know, regardless of what day I get picked at, wherever I get selected, you know, it's going to be a blessing and it's time to hit the ground running. I think this is, you know, one of the best situations, you know, to be in, you know, having the opportunity to be like a 1-2 punch with Junkins. But, you know, my family was all behind me, you know, we was able to, you know, get back together today and watch it and, you know, for certain I was going to get my name called. But, yeah, it's scary, you know, not knowing, you know, when you're going to get taken, especially being in a running back draft class and you start to see other running backs go before you. It's like, dang, like, I don't know how people really value me for real. So, but to get that phone call and see my name get called on TV, you know, it's now it's time to just hit the ground running.
And the best thing about this league is it doesn't matter where you are drafted once you get here. It's about what you do, what you produce. And you mentioned being part of a 1-2 punch. There is a rich, rich history. Obviously, the GOAT Jim Brown was a Cleveland Brown, but you talk about 1-2 punches. You go back to the 80s, Biner and Mack, Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack, and then more recently, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That is something the Browns have had throughout their history, an opportunity to do it again, and we're thrilled that you have an opportunity to be a part of it.
And with that, Dylan,
Yeah.
when did you realize in your journey that, okay, I have a shot? Because you're living out, I got to imagine, a childhood dream of being in the NFL, getting drafted. But when did you know in college, okay, I have a shot at this?
Yeah, I think really my sophomore year, you know, first of all, just playing in the SEC, you know, great conference. You know, there's a lot of great conferences out there, but just playing in the SEC, you know, I feel like if you're able to showcase on a consistent basis, you know, that you can go out there and compete at a high level against, you know, the defenses in the SEC. You know, there's always a shot, you know, kind of get to the league and display your skills no matter how that looks. So I was able to jump on the scene for real my sophomore year after splitting time with J. Wright and Jabari, you know, just, you know, finding time throughout games, you know. I got my own drives on the series, being able to affect the game. And this year, once I finally got the starting role, you know, my first time starting since high school, was able to hit the ground running and kind of that consistency each and every game. And kind of when it got to about like mid-season or like mid-SEC play, I was like, you know, it could be a real possibility that, you know, I could be able to leave this year. But I was just focused on, you know, every single day, every game, just being my best.
Homecoming king, SEC Offensive Player of the Year, and now a Cleveland Brown. Dylan, congratulations. Can't wait to see you get up here and get to work. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll have a familiar face in the building in Cedric Tillman, so hopefully that helps with the transition.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You got it. Congratulations, Dylan Sampson, the newest member of your Cleveland Browns.